All right, guys. What we're going to be talking about today is, are we at King William District CrossFit and Metfix Southtown, are we a competitive gym? First, before I get into that, we'll need to explain what I even mean when I say competitive gym. But as you guys know, we did back squats today. We're getting back into our normally scheduled programming now after the open. And we're going to be squatting a lot this year. It was a couple years ago, I talked about this in one of these, that we did more benching over the course of a year than we had in the past. For a lot of reasons I won't get into right now. It was something I wanted to emphasize over an extended period of time, get us all better at benching. Looking at what we've done over the past few years, we're going to spend a little more time between back squat and front squat and overhead squat. We're going to spend a lot of time working on the strength of the squat over the course of the rest of 2025. So know that is coming. I hope you like squatting, because we're all going to work at getting better on our strength and on our strength stamina with that. But getting into this, what do I mean by, are we a competitive gym? Okay, so what are we competing at? Are we competing at going to the games? Currently, no, we have no one that is doing that. Are we competing at winning the whiteboard for today? We've all done that. We all do that occasionally. I will say in general, that is the dumbest thing to be competing at. Something we've all done, we all do. And there is a way to use the whiteboard to your advantage that I'm going to get into here. But in general, if you're competing to win the whiteboard that day, that is a dumb thing to be doing. Are you competing at winning your next local competition? John and his fiance, Caitlin, are going to be doing a swimming race coming up soon. So he's training for that. I know we have two different groups of girls that are doing local competitions in the next couple months. So I know they're working toward those goals, and I'm all for that. I think that's fun. Having those short-term events to work towards really can kind of put a little spice in our programming, give us a little more oomph to kind of get into class and push hard. So I'm all for that. But in general, when I say, are we a competitive gym? And I say, yes, we are. What I'm referring to is winning the long game. Winning the game of life. That may sound cliche, but that's it. You are competing against your future self, and you're trying to help your future self beat your current self. You are competing to make future you way better than present you. And that's the intention behind how you should be training. So I'm going to dig into that a little bit. What do I mean by that? All right, so I'm going to use a workout example to illustrate my point of competing to win the whiteboard today and competing to win at the long game of life. Let's say there's a workout and it's 3 rounds of 50 push-ups, 40 kettlebell swings, and 30 pull-ups. 50, 40, 30, 3 times through. If you're competing to win the whiteboard today, or you want to beat so-and-so in class, we all know a good push-up compared to a bad push-up. I think at King William District CrossFit, we emphasize push-up form a lot, and I'm very proud of that. But let's say you're a little lax with the form. You're a little loose through the midline as you're coming off the floor. You're short-changing the range of motion just a little, the top and bottom, and so you're able to whip through those push-ups a lot faster. Let's say on the kettlebell swings, the arms are maybe bent a little more than is ideal. The head of the kettlebell is kind of dangling out here in front of you. You're not quite getting your biceps behind your ears, but it's not anything anybody's going to no-rep you on. And let's say on the pull-ups, you're really towing the line. No one's going to no-rep you, but that chin is just touching the line on the pull-ups. And then as we get into the later rounds, you're much faster if you do singles, so you switch to singles really soon to do single pull-ups. And you do. You beat so-and-so on the whiteboard, you get the status you want on the whiteboard. Yay, I won today. Did you set up your future self to be a better athlete? No, you didn't. No, you did not. Let's say you take the same workout and you are setting your future self up and you are rigid through the midline on those push-ups. You are locking out at the top all the way chest to deck on the ground, but keeping your muscles on tension. On those kettlebell swings, they're ones we want to take a video of. Your arms are straight, biceps are behind the ear, your whole body's in a line. On the pull-ups, your chin is clearly over the bar at the top on all of them, and you string them together as long as you can, and that may mean you need to take a little bit longer breaks as we get later into it, but you're trying to string together those pull-ups and working on that pulling stamina on your grip and on your lat strength, and you finish the workout a little bit slower than the other guy. You're not as fast. but you got a way better workout and you set yourself up to improve much more than the other person did. Guys, if you take a math test, do you get better at math by just taking the test every day? No, you don't. You get better at math by studying math and working on different kinds of math problems and coming at it from a bunch of different angles and getting a lot of good reps with the math you can do, or that's right on the edge of the math you can do. And then you come back and you do better at the test because of that. You don't just beat your head against the wall taking the test every day. That's what being obsessed with the whiteboard and competing on the whiteboard is doing. You're just beating your head against that wall every day and you're not getting better. If you emphasize that full range of motion on everything, so this is where what I'm getting into here is, I'm not saying you take it easy. I'm not saying you are deliberately slow. You should always be emphasizing the range of motion, the quality of movement, learning how to pace, but giving that maximum effort. So I love the thought of giving maximum effort, but there's a smart way to do it and there's a dumb way to do it. So when I say we are a competitive gym, we work with intelligence and intention on the things we know that will make us better, and we're not too worried with the short-term goal of where I stand today. There is a time to take the test. We just did the open. And in the open, yeah, for me, if I'm in the open, that's where I will do singles on power cleans. And I will do singles on pull-ups if I'm trying to get the absolute fastest time I can, and I know from experience that's going to get me there. But if I take that same workout from the open and I put it in class, I'm going to work on doing touch and go on power cleans a lot longer. And it's going to be way more tiring and it's going to be slower. And on the pull-ups, I'm going to try and string them together a lot longer. If it's toes to bar, I'll use today's workout for an example. I got into today's workout and I went hard on that first part. And I was trying to finish with a good time, but I look back now on that last set of toes to bar, 3 rounds of 15 hang power snatch and 15 toes to bar. In the last round, I went to singles a little too soon. I should have taken another breath or two and then kept trying to string together at least 3 or 4 toes to bar, and that would have made me a better athlete. I did that well on the first 2 rounds and even the beginning of the last round, but I look back and in my mind, I went to singles too soon on that. But I'm aware of that and it's something I'm trying to work towards. I was giving a competitive level of effort in today's workout. And then when we went to the back squats, I did the back squats today with a box, not to make it easier. It actually makes it harder for me, but it's easier on my knees. And I want to go heavier the next 2 weeks on back squats. And like I said at the beginning, I know there's a lot of squats coming in our future. I need to be protective of my knees to get me there. It doesn't mean I take it easy. It just means I train in such a way that it's going to allow me to train harder more often down the road. What I don't want to hear, guys, and this is where I say when I say we are a competitive gym, what I mean is it's in regards to the effort and the amount of effort you're putting forth. We've all said it. I've said it. I hear it a lot. Coach, I'm just here to move today. And okay, if that's because you've come the last 5 days in a row and you've been giving a competitive level of effort in each workout and you're just trying to get that last one in, then I'm kind of okay with that. But that should be by far the exception and not the rule. Because if all you do is just move a lot, suddenly that's all you can do. And what I mean by that is, we posted something on Instagram the other day and it says, on Monday I felt 100%, Tuesday I felt like I was at 5%, Wednesday I was at 70%, Thursday I was at 50%, Friday I was back at 100%. I still came every day. And I gave full effort. And that's what I am talking about. Let's say you came to class today and I had a stressful weekend. There's a lot going on at work. I'm at 50% today. You give 100% of the 50% you have. You give all of what you have on that workout, and that is winning the long game. That is setting up your future self. And you can't be too concerned with, man, I know if everything is perfect, that workout would only taken me 15 minutes, but it took me 20 minutes. If you know you moved well on that workout and you gave the maximum effort, then you did it the right way. And don't be too concerned with, if everything was perfect. Things are rarely perfect. Guys, I'm 50 years old. I get up at 4 a.m. I've had a bunch of surgeries. It is rare. It is a rare day when I don't have at least one joint that I know is not doing great and or I'm tired. If I only pushed it to that competitive level of effort, if I only pushed it to 100% on the days I was feeling perfectly, I would not be pushing it hard very often. And I would be getting worse as an athlete. And I would lose the ability to push it. And so that's what I'm talking about here is you give 100% of what you have that day. You come in and with your heart, your lungs, your mind, and your willpower, you give 100%. But there's different ways within that we are training. We're not competing each day. And if we had someone organically grow up in the gym that became very competitive and could move to the higher levels, that would be fun. That would be a fun thing to do. I know from experience and from talking to a lot of other owners, there's a lot of inadvertent drama and complications that come with somebody if they suddenly become somewhat famous in our little niche world. There's just stuff that comes with that. I would be willing to deal with that, and that's no problem if it was organically coming from one of us within our midst. But to me, that is no more important or cool than if I made Andy a better workout, or I made Greg a better workout, or making Emily a better athlete. If I helped them get the best workout and made them a better athlete. That is actually more fulfilling to me, and I think the more important thing we do. And it's what I want one of the bedrock things of our culture to be built on, is we give that 100% effort all the time. And you guys know I build in the EMOM on Thursday. I build in the workouts where you work on technique and you work on the skill and you work on some of that strength stamina. So not every day is going to require your lungs to explode and your heart to explode. I do that on purpose because, again, I am trying to win the long game, and you don't do that by beating your head against that engine wall every day. But you have to do it regularly. And so know that those workouts are coming when you're going to get the chance to work on the skill, and I'm doing that to set you up so that next time power snatch is in a workout and you got to get under the bar faster on the EMOM, now you can push it harder in that workout with good form and be sustainable and not hurt your shoulders. That is the more intelligent way to compete in what I'm referring to. You guys may have noticed a lot, if there's a run in the workout and I put the calories on the bike, I will make it where it's an amount of calories that I know you really don't want to or can't run in order to do that bike. Because you're going to have to work really hard on the bike to get as good a time as even if you were a really slow runner. That's not because I want one or the other. It is because I'm trying to eliminate the ways for you to take it easy on yourself. I know we all have a tendency to do that, and I'm trying to put up walls to prevent a lot of the outs on that just move kind of a mindset. In the same way, you guys have noticed, I've heard this a million times, I think the sweat option coach is harder than the RX option. You bet. And when I hear that, I'm like, I did it. I won. Because, yeah, the RX one may be more technical. It may have handstand push-ups. And instead, I'm doing a shit ton of push press over here. Man, that looks even harder. From an effort standpoint, it probably is harder. Because that's what I'm trying to elicit out of you, is that maximum effort. And I'm not making these other options so you can just move. You're using different movements so you can still push the envelope on your effort, push the envelope on your engine, on your lungs, on your mindset, and on your willpower. Even if you're only at 20% today, you're going to give 100% of that 20% you have in the tank. And that is what is making your future self better. If all we do is just move, suddenly that's all you can do is just move. And guys, I've seen this a lot. People do get into that I'm just going to move mindset for a while, and then for whatever reason a workout comes up where they do want to push it, whether it's the open or it's a competition or they're working with a partner, and they go to floor it and suddenly they run out of juice really fast. And then you get really down on yourself. Oh, I'm getting old. I just don't have it anymore. No, you haven't been training with intention. You haven't been training at that competitive level. And yeah, the first time you floor it to go there, the engine's going to cough and sputter and you're going to choke and you're not going to be able to get there. If you push it regularly, start pushing that envelope again several times a week, then yeah, you'll get that intensity back. But it is the most transient skill, the most temporary skill we have is that willpower and that mindset, and making our lungs and heart be able to keep up with that, to push it there. So I'm trying to eliminate all the ways to do that. And another way we do that is when you can do the RX Plus, but it's so heavy that you're going to spend 75% of the time in that workout standing around. Because that squat snatch, it's just almost at your max, or you can do singles on handstand push-ups. You would get a way better workout if you go to the RX, a slightly lighter weight that you can move a lot more, or if you go to the dumbbell push press and you get a lot more reps on your shoulders. But here, I'm going to go to the RX Plus. It's a tricky way to do it because it can look, oh, look at that. That person's being a badass and going to RX Plus. No, they're actually taking the easy way out. And that is another one why that RX Plus option is not always the best choice. If it's a weight you can move regularly and that is the goal of the workout, then yes, you can do it. If it's a weight that's at your max, then no, step down and do the RX and give that full effort. And we've all done that too. And knowing the RX Plus is actually easier because of how much time it's going to take in between each rep to do it. You come in and with whatever you got in the tank that day, you empty the tank from an effort standpoint. And that is what sets up your future self to be better than your current self. And that is how you win the long game. And when I say we are a competitive gym, we are a competitive gym that gives a competitive amount of effort on a regular basis so that we still have it and we're setting up our future self to win that way. It was just, I put it in the last box report. It was Tim and Kelly that we did a version of Helen we'd done in the past. And they both got PRs. And they're both in their 40s. They've been with me a long time. They've been doing this for a long time. Their current self, that is several years older than the last time they did this, did that workout faster, had a higher power output, was more efficient, and got themselves there at a faster pace. And that is because they regularly come to class and they give really hard effort when that is what is required. And as I said, guys, if it happens occasionally, it's going to happen to all of us. I'm just going to move today. Fine. Don't give yourself that out because life is hard. Because life is always going to be hard. You made it to the gym. Get the most out of this time and give 100% of whatever is in the tank. And don't get down on yourself because it wasn't what my ideal version of myself could do right now. Who cares about that? If you know you emptied everything you had, you pushed that needle forward and helped your future self be better than your current self. That takes a lot of self-discipline. That takes a lot of mental strength. And that takes consistently going down into that well, even when you don't feel like it. And this is where I've had a lot of people come to our gym and say, man, you guys are more intense than the last gym I was out. And I think we are super friendly. I don't take myself very seriously. I don't take any of you guys very seriously. All of us, whatever we're doing is no more important than anybody else. And I think we all have that mindset. I don't care how much weight you're using, what form of the movement you're doing. We're all here to give maximum effort. If that's what you're doing, then we're all doing the same thing. And so whether the movement looks as cool as this movement or not, I don't really care. But I do care that you're giving that effort. And I'm constantly, as I get better at programming and knowing the culture, trying to eliminate those little exits along the way for you to be able to take it easy. So when you see like, man, I think the sweat option is harder. Or, man, I think, that bike is more than if I did the run. Yep, you're right. Because I'm trying to elicit that amount of effort out of you. I hope I made sense on that, guys. So when I say we are a competitive gym, I hope you understand that, yes, we are. And that's what I mean by that. We are competing to win the long game. And you do that by the effort you put forth and by the intelligence you have behind your workouts. Your heart, your mind, your lungs, and your willpower get worked almost all the time. There is a place to work skill. There is a place to work technique, and I will provide that for you. What I don't provide very often is the way to just move. Occasionally, I will provide that, but it is the exception to the rule. You give 100% of whatever you have that day, and that is what moves the needle forward. All right, guys, right on. Let me know your thoughts.